One problem with getting older is that you've done everything before. Not absolutely everything, of course. More on that later. But by my age, late 40s, when you've seen quite a few seasons pass, it's difficult to avoid a feeling of sameness and ennui. You meet a girl, she's cute, but her reactions are almost an identical version of those of that other girl that you dated 2 years ago. You go to a new city, only to find the same stores, H&M, Zara, Starbucks, McDonald's, and so on. You listen to music. Some of it thrills you, but strangely, the narcotic effect of that new song wears off more rapidly than ever before. An example. There are songs I've been listening to for over 30 years that are still fixtures on my playlist. I listen to them time and again, never getting bored. Tracks by The Smiths, Depeche Mode, and so on. When we were in Poland, I discovered the new album by John Grant on Spotify, and I listened to it obsessively for about 48 hours. In particular, a track called Just So You Know. But after the 48 hours had elapsed, my fascination died. I haven't played the album again since. I love all types of music and make an effort to discover new stuff. I Shazam constantly. I was doing this all the time when I was in Russia with Tusk, and I've amassed a playlist of something like 100 tracks from over there. It includes some gems and a lot of pop dross, which I love too. However, and this is something I've heard people older than me complain about, because there's nothing new under the sun, you can immediately identify the reference points for new music. A lot of the time, old tracks have been sampled. For example, when I was in Krakow, I had a dance track that borrowed the main riff from Situation by Yazoo. It's a great riff, but it's not new to me. The kids in the club, who presumably have never heard of Yazoo, who has these days, seem to be loving it. This feeling of sameness that follows me around and which I need to shake is exacerbated by a culture that very deliberately looks to the past for inspiration. Dua Lipa's great Lockdown album, Future Nostalgia, was clearly influenced by the 80s and 90s. She has some great songs, but it is ultimately a reworking of the past. So what is the solution for a man like me wandering the world without much purpose beyond my own desire and entertainment? Well, work is key. Teaching students is great because it gets me out of my head and concentrating on their problems and issues instead of just mine. And seeing others succeed is a tonic. Writing and content creation are too essential. I do believe the old adage that if the thing that you want to consume doesn't exist, then you should invent it yourself. Production is always more satisfying than consumption. I also believe that pushing oneself and seeking out new experience, new stimulation, new countries, new ways of life is necessary, perhaps even more so as you age. Whereas for younger people, everything seems new. When you've lived for a while, it is incumbent on you to seek out the novel for yourself. Unfortunately, for many men, this is impossible since they've boxed themselves into a corner with marriage, family commitments, work, and so on. Because, perhaps more by accident than design, my situation is a little different, there are no excuses for me not to discover new frontiers. Maybe that's the case for you too.